This week I just got back from a job where I was directing for maybe the first time or first few times for this company that I work for now. And just want to share some of the takeaways that I discovered from this, and just share them with you guys. For those of you that don't know, my name is Justin with Anchor Visuals. I've been in the film world for just a little over 10 years now. Done everything from live production to, editing to post-production, like you name it. I've kind of been a part of it, or I've done it myself. So that's what this channel is about. If you like any of that stuff and find it helpful, you should follow along. But from this week we're on set in Florida. Normally, just for a background, I'm taking all the gear, and I'm kind of like a DIT kind of / media manager sort of person. So I bring along normally our B camera, and then all the gear for that. So like a wireless transmitter, our director's monitor, as well as a client monitor. I set up the live stream for client, and then manage all the media, make sure that all gets back to our server on our company side. So make sure that I handle all that, do the dumps at the end of the day, all et cetera, et cetera. But this week, they'd asked me to direct part of the shoot. We had something fall through, and it ended up being that we were going to direct this. Our company was going to direct this ourselves, and we didn't have enough hands, so they asked me if I could direct some of it. The interesting part about it was that the director of photography for this shoot was my boss. Was not just my manager, the guy above me, but like my manager's manager, like the VP of our video production world. He was the guy that I was meant to be directing behind the camera. And then also, you've got the other people, the talent on screen, the talent on screen that I'm also directing as well. And that can be very intimidating. One of the takeaways that I had, me and the guys were sort of talking after the shoot, and we were just discussing some of that stuff that went on, and I sort of asked, how'd you think I went? What's some things that I could have done better? And one of the things he said was, don't be afraid to step on toes. Now, what does he mean by that? He went on to say, I'm focusing, as the guy behind the camera, I'm focusing on making sure the shot looks good, making sure the lighting's good. I'm thinking about 50 other things dedicated towards the camera. I'm not thinking about how's the talent moving, how they, how's the focus necessarily, is it pinpoint, is it on the right thing, whilst we're shooting all this stuff. So, one of the takeaways I had, all that to say, one of the takeaways I had was, you will get imposter syndrome. You will feel like you don't have any right to be in this conversation or tell them what to do because they've got more experience than you. You might be younger, you might be new to this area, but don't let that stop you from making sure that what you are trying to capture as the director, you are capturing it. That means if the talent maybe does a movement that doesn't fit, okay, we gotta discuss that. Let's stop for a second. Let's pause. Let's talk to the talent on screen. Maybe the camera was a little out of focus or focused on the wrong thing that you would like it to be focused on. Maybe it was focused on the hands, but you want it to be focused on the face or whatever. You've got to make that call. You've got to step in and in that moment be like, hey, hey, can we reshoot that? Hey, this time, can you focus on the face rather than the hands? Or, hey, let's pause for a second, talk to the talent. My company, we work with people that are not actors. They are, they're sharing their testimony, and so therefore they are now part of our B-roll scenes. And so they aren't, they're not real actors. So we've got to talk to them about, okay, how can we convey the emotion in this scene that they're talking about? Maybe it's a heavier scene, maybe it's a happy scene, maybe it's a contemplative or reflective scene. How do we I need to make sure that what they're doing makes sense in the script for what the scene is going to be used for. So one of the takeaways, like I said, is don't be afraid to step in and make sure that what's being captured is what you need. And don't be afraid to tell your director of photography, your DP, that, hey, that was out of focus. Like, hey, let's now there's ways to do that appropriately. You're not going to be like, hey man, what are you doing? Like, why is that out of focus? Like, come on. Like, there's ways to go about that. Maybe it's like, hey, can we reshoot that? Like, hey, can we do that one more time? Or, hey, let's, can we focus on our hands, or can we focus on the face, or whatever? Like, let's redo that one more time and call attention to it. Because 9 times out of 10, they're not intentionally doing something wrong, whether it's the talent or whether it's the camera operator. They're all there trying to capture the right thing. And it's on me to make sure, as the director in that moment, to make sure that what is being captured is what is needed and is conveying the right message. You will always feel the imposter syndrome. I've talked to, even my boss, who normally directs. He was even saying, like, dude, I still feel it from time to time, especially like on set. Like, I don't want to be that guy to tell them to redo something, or I don't want it to come across as whatever. But he's like, at the end of the day, like, we're there to do a job. I'm getting paid to capture this, and if it's not captured right, then that reflects poorly on everyone. So it's better to call out what's going wrong and say, hey, I'm never going to use that, or that movement's not good, or whatever. Like, better to call that out than to just not get what you need. That's going to be a worse issue on the back end than not calling it out will ever be. But, there's always ways to go about that. But just know, if you're getting into this, if you're going about it, you will always feel that imposter syndrome, but stick it through. Have the confidence in yourself. I had to build up that confidence for myself and go, okay, I need to step up in this moment and say something if it's going to save this shot, and if it's something that is really wrong, like it being soft or out of focus, like, that's an issue. I need to step up and say something about it. That's not a bad thing. That's not something that's going to hurt anything. That's going to be something that helps everyone in the long run, because it saves the DP. If his shots come back and they're all out of focus, he's going to be like, yo, what the heck? You were looking at the monitor. Like, why didn't you tell me? It's going to reflect poorly on him. It's going to reflect poorly on you as a director for not telling, not saying something when you need it to be said. And if the emotion's wrong, or the talent's like doing the wrong thing, or there's, all these little things, like, it's going to help way more to step in and say, hey, can we reshoot this, or can we redo this scene, or like, hey, let's take that again. That's always going to be the better option. So I hope that helps. Know that if you're getting into it, you've got it. Just take your time. Don't be a jerk about it. Don't step in and be like, rah, 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 and like trying to tell them how to do it or whatever. It's just like, hey, let's take that again. Can we just make sure, like, this time we focus on that, on the eyes or on the hands or whatever it is that you want to focus on. And just go from there. It's all a learning process. It's going to take time. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And just take it day by day. You got this. You're a legend. You're going to figure it out. And if you like this video, you know what to do. All right, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Latest.